What if the very act meant to keep you alive is the same one being used to keep you small? You breathe over 20,000 times a day, yet most of those breaths are unconscious, shallow, and programmed, not by nature, not by your soul, but by a system designed to suppress your power. They never told you that breath isn't just air, it's vibration, it's intelligence, it's a gateway to the hidden universe within you. And if they can control how you breathe, they can control how you think, feel, and manifest reality. But here's the secret. The moment you reclaim your breath, you reclaim your frequency. You awaken the inner current that rewires your nervous system, shifts your consciousness, and unlocks dormant codes buried deep in your cells. In this video, we're peeling back the veil on the greatest hidden control mechanism, your breath, and how to reset it. You'll discover the ancient breathwork secrets, the nervous system trap you've unknowingly fallen into, and the sacred path back to energetic sovereignty. This isn't just about breathing better. It's about awakening to the truth of who you are. The revolution begins with your next inhale. No one ever told you that your breath could be used against you, that every shallow inhale, every chest-tight gasp was anchoring you to a low-frequency reality. But it is. In the modern world, most people are unconsciously trained to breathe like they're under attack, quick, short, upper lung breaths that mimic the state of being chased. This isn't by accident. It's a quiet program woven into our daily stress, our posture, even the architecture of our chairs and workspaces. When the body breathes in panic, the mind follows. And in that loop, the higher self is silenced. The nervous system reads each breath like code. Shallow breathing triggers the sympathetic system, the fight or flight mechanism, flooding the body with cortisol and keeping your awareness trapped in the physical, reactive, fear-based layers of reality. This is the state where you're easiest to manipulate. It narrows perception, stifles intuition, and keeps you addicted to survival stimuli, news cycles, notifications, conflict. The breath becomes the leash. And we mistake this stress response for normal life. Long ago, in ancient systems of yogic science and mystery schools, breath was revered as a bridge to the divine. The ancients knew what modern society hides, that deep, conscious breathing shifts your entire electromagnetic field. It opens the inner temple, but the moment you disconnect from that, when you breathe unconsciously, your energetic sovereignty is handed over to external influence. The breath you're taking is no longer yours. It's been programmed. This programming begins early. Think about it. How often are children taught to hold their stomachs in, to sit still, to ignore the rhythms of their own body? Schools train attention away from the breath. Culture promotes appearances over presence, and even fitness regimes teach breath restriction, pushing people further into performance over connection. It's systemic, it's subtle, and it's incredibly effective at keeping people disempowered. But here's the key. The breath is both the problem and the portal. It's the one physiological system that is both automatic and controllable. The perfect interface between subconscious programming and conscious awakening. When you reclaim your breath, you start to dissolve the veil. You begin to regulate your nervous system, awaken dormant pathways, and shift from reaction to creation. Breath is not just air, it's intention in motion, and it's the first place they tried to control you. Before breath was medicalized, before it was dismissed as mere biology, it was sacred. Ancient civilizations across the globe regarded breath as the divine force, the animating spirit. In Sanskrit, it was called prana. In Egypt, ankh. In China, chi. They weren't talking about oxygen. They were talking about life force intelligence, an energetic essence that moved through the breath. But as empires fell and dogmas rose, these teachings were hidden, distorted, or erased entirely. What remained was a shell, the physical breath, while the power behind it was lost in the fog of forgetfulness. The yogis knew breath could open dimensional doors. With controlled pranayama, they entered altered brainwave states, activated inner vision, and connected with non-physical intelligence. The Egyptians used breath during rites to guide the soul through realms. Taoist masters breathed with the earth, syncing their energy fields with the magnetic grid of the planet. These weren't just rituals, they were technologies, energetic tools to unlock human potential. And yet, these systems are absent from modern education, as if humanity's most potent power source was intentionally buried. Why? Because someone understood that a population who can regulate their own frequency becomes ungovernable. If you know how to shift your state at will, to transmute fear into stillness, exhaustion into vitality, you are no longer dependent on the system. You don't need external validation, pills, or programming. This kind of autonomy is dangerous to those who feed on energetic compliance. So, the breath was stripped of its mystical context. It became background noise in a distracted world. But something ancient is stirring again. The memory of this breath, the breath that heals, energizes, awakens, is re-emerging. People are rediscovering breathwork, not just for stress relief, but for transcendence. Psychedelic-like states are being reached without substances, simply through controlled breathing. Emotional traumas are being released. Subconscious patterns are dissolving. The veil is thinning. And it starts with breath. You don't need to become a monk to access this. It's encoded in you. Your body already knows how to breathe in this sacred way. It's just been silenced by years of conditioning. But the moment you begin to unlearn the modern program, to deepen, to slow, to feel, you re-enter the stream of ancestral wisdom. Breath becomes remembrance, and every inhale a return to the truth they tried to erase. At the core of modern stress lies a forgotten truth. Your breath is the remote control of your nervous system. When your breathing is shallow, rapid, or inconsistent, your body assumes it's under threat, even if there's no danger. The nervous system doesn't ask why you're breathing like that. It just reacts. And here's the trap. Once you're stuck in this shallow rhythm, your body enters a loop of sympathetic activation. Adrenaline rises, focus narrows, and you begin to live from survival mode, not from intuition or clarity. The irony is, many people think this state is normal. It's the illusion of safety, a chemically induced alertness that's actually just chronic dysregulation. But the body is wise. It adapts. Over time, this stress becomes baseline. You may feel functional, productive even, but underneath is a ticking biological clock of burnout. Why? Because the nervous system was never designed to be stuck in a sympathetic loop for hours, days, or decades. It's meant to respond briefly, then reset. But with modern stressors, screens, caffeine, and overstimulation, most never get that reset. Breathing shallowly traps awareness in the physical body. You become reactive, hypervigilant, quick to anger, or easily exhausted. The higher faculties, imagination, insight, heart-based awareness, become inaccessible. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a storm. The constant fight or flight chemistry drowns out the subtle signals of intuition. This is not just a mental state, it's a full, energetic disconnection. And the saddest part, most don't even realize they've been living like this for years, but the exit is coded in the breath. When you begin to breathe slowly, deeply, into the belly, into the diaphragm, you activate the parasympathetic system, the rest, repair, and regenerate mode. This isn't just relaxation, it's the gateway to coherence, to recalibrating your body's entire frequency. Your heart rate evens out, your brain waves soften, your awareness expands beyond the physical. Suddenly, you remember who you are beneath the stress, a conscious creator, not a reactive machine. It's no exaggeration to say that breath is liberation. Each conscious inhale is a signal to your nervous system. I am safe, and in that safety, your inner world begins to shift. The need to control fades, the fear begins to dissolve, and from that space, true healing, physical, emotional, spiritual, becomes possible. You're no longer just surviving. You're tuning your frequency toward a higher state of being. Every breath you take is more than a biological exchange. It's a vibrational transmission. Inhale by inhale, you are broadcasting and receiving frequency. That's not poetic metaphor. It's quantum mechanics, bioenergetics, and ancient mysticism, all pointing to the same truth. Your breath is your frequency tuner. It modulates your electromagnetic field, your brainwave patterns, and the resonance of your very consciousness. In a world obsessed with external control, this inner tool, subtle yet powerful, remains your greatest key to sovereignty. The length, depth, and rhythm of your breath determines your internal state. Fast, erratic breathing creates incoherence. It scrambles your energy, making you susceptible to chaos and emotional reactivity. But when your breath becomes rhythmic and intentional, your body enters coherence. Your heart, brain, and nervous system begin to move in harmonic resonance. This coherence is not just relaxation, it is a vibrational alignment with higher order information, the kind of clarity that cuts through confusion like light through fog. Breath changes brainwave states too. Shallow breathing keeps you in beta, the analytical, stress-based wave of daily survival. But slow, deep breathing activates alpha and even theta, the dreamlike, intuitive, creative states. This is the frequency realm where manifestation begins. It's the layer where thought becomes energy, and energy begins to shape reality. Through breath, you shift the very lens through which you experience life. You move from reaction to creation. And here's the ancient secret hidden in plain sight. Breath is not just frequency, it's intention in vibration. When you breathe with purpose, you imprint that frequency into your biofield. Want to anchor peace? Breathe with peace. Want to amplify joy? Infuse your inhale with the vibration of joy. The breath becomes a vehicle for vibration, a message you're sending to the quantum field, and the field responds, always. This is the law of vibration in motion, the cosmic mirror echoing back the signal you emit. So the next time you feel out of alignment, don't look outside yourself. Look at how you're breathing, because your breath is not just sustaining you, it's sculpting your reality, moment by moment. Tune your breath, and you tune your life. And when you breathe as a sovereign being, no frequency of fear can hold you. Science is just beginning to confirm what ancient mystics always knew. The heart, brain, and breath form a trinity of intelligence. Not metaphorical intelligence, literal, measurable communication happening within your body's electromagnetic system. The HeartMath Institute calls this coherence. Yogis call it pranayama. It is the secret of divine alignment. When your heart's rhythm, your brain's waves, and your breath's rhythm synchronize, you tap into a state beyond logic, a direct line to source. The heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ, thousands of times stronger than the brain, and it speaks a language of rhythm. When the breath is chaotic, the heart's rhythm becomes erratic, signaling stress and discord throughout the body. But when breath becomes smooth and intentional, the heart synchronizes, and the brain follows. This creates a biofeedback loop of harmony. Thoughts become clearer, emotions stabilize, and your frequency becomes aligned with higher awareness. This state isn't just relaxing, it's expansive. It opens access to intuitive knowing, deep peace, and what many describe as spiritual connection. Greg Braden calls it heart-brain coherence, a measurable state where the brain's thinking and the heart's knowing merge. It's a quantum signal to the universe, saying, I am in alignment. I am ready to receive. In this space, manifestation accelerates, healing deepens, and synchronicities become daily reality. Most people live disconnected from this axis. Their minds race while their hearts ache, and their breath goes unnoticed. That disconnection isn't random. It's the byproduct of a system that values logic over feeling, speed over presence. But the fix doesn't require a radical life change. It requires breath. Slow, conscious, heart-centered breathing, even just for 3 minutes, can bring your whole system into coherence. The shift is immediate and powerful. When you align breath with heart and mind, you're not just calming yourself, you're reactivating a divine circuitry. You become a conduit for higher intelligence, and in that alignment, your choices, your insights, even your timing, begin to reflect a higher order. This is what it means to walk in coherence, to live not from the fragmented intellect, but from the wholeness of your being. Your subconscious mind is a silent architect, shaping 95% of your behaviors, beliefs, and perceptions. And yet, most never realize that the most direct access to this hidden realm is through the breath. You see, the subconscious doesn't speak in language. It speaks in rhythm, sensation, and state. And every breath pattern you adopt is like a command, a program written in energy. When you breathe in fear, you feed fear. When you breathe in intention, you rewire reality. Breath controls your nervous system, and your nervous system governs your subconscious patterns. Think of shallow, erratic breathing as the subconscious being coded for instability and reaction. Over time, this becomes your default, not because it's true, but because it's familiar. That's how trauma embeds itself, not through memory, but through breath-imprinted states. The good news, every inhale is a chance to overwrite the code. Through conscious breathwork, you send a new signal to your body. We're safe now, we can heal, we can evolve. Certain breathing techniques, like coherent breathing, box breathing, or alternate nostril, create rhythmic stability in the nervous system. And when done consistently, they begin to reprogram the subconscious baseline. This is how you shift out of anxiety, self-sabotage, or looping thoughts. It's not about willpower, it's about frequency alignment. Through breath, you install a new energetic operating system, one that vibrates with peace, clarity, and empowerment. Neville Goddard said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." But how do you feel something new if your body is still breathing like it's in danger? You don't. The body must come into agreement with the mind. That's why breath is the bridge. When you pair intention with breath, you bypass the analytical mind and speak directly to the subconscious, the true engine behind manifestation. Breath becomes the delivery system for new belief. You're not stuck with the programming you were given. You can re-script your inner narrative by shifting the rhythm of your breath. It takes no guru, no retreat, no external validation, only presence, repetition, and conscious intent. Inhale belief, exhale doubt, over and over, until the subconscious starts whispering back, "Yes, this is who I truly am." If you knew that your next 10 breaths could change your state of being, would you still take them unconsciously? Most people do, but in every moment, the breath is offering a choice to remain entangled in survival or to rise into conscious creation. The way you breathe determines your energy levels, your mental clarity, and even the signal you're sending to the quantum field. So when we speak of manifestation, it's not just about thoughts, it's about breath-charged thought, vibrating with intention. To breathe for energy, the key is oxygenation and rhythm. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing into the belly, not the chest, floods the cells with oxygen and awakens dormant pathways in the brain. Try inhaling deeply for 4 counts, holding for 4, exhaling for 6. This alone can shift your state within minutes. It reduces cortisol, boosts nitric oxide, and activates the prefrontal cortex, your command center for clarity and focus. This is not just physical, it's vibrational tuning. For clarity, the breath must become a stabilizer. Techniques like box breathing, equal inhale, hold, exhale, hold, create a harmonic rhythm that entrains the brain into alpha waves. These are the frequencies of calm focus, where distraction dissolves and insight emerges. You're not forcing clarity, you're aligning your internal landscape to receive it. Breath clears the fog. It stills the waters so the reflection of your truth can emerge. Now, for manifestation. This is where breath becomes magic. The breath amplifies emotion, and emotion imprints the quantum field. When you visualize your desired reality while breathing slowly and intentionally, you're not just imagining, you're transmitting. You're sending a vibrational signature that the field mirrors back. This is why ancient traditions combined breath with mantras, with movement, with visioning. They understood breath is the current that carries thought into form. Start your mornings with 5 minutes of conscious breath, even just coherent breathing. Inhale 5 seconds, exhale 5 seconds. Set an intention with each inhale. Release resistance with each exhale. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how clarity returns. And watch how manifestation stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like alignment. The universe doesn't speak words, it speaks frequency, and your breath is your dialect. There is a revolution happening, not in the streets, but in the silence of breath. People all around the world are awakening to the realization that the most powerful tool for transformation has been within them all along. It doesn't need Wi-Fi. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't belong to any religion or system. It's the breath, and it's being reclaimed. Slowly but surely, the programmed patterns of shallow survival are being replaced with conscious respiration. This is the breath revolution. For centuries, breath was considered sacred, then it was ignored. But now, through neuroscience, epigenetics, and somatic healing, its importance is resurfacing. We're discovering that breath can not only regulate the nervous system, but shift brain states, open the heart, and activate dormant potentials. The science is catching up to the spirit, and the people are remembering what was never truly lost. That breath is the portal back to the self. This isn't about technique alone. It's about reclaiming autonomy. Every conscious breath is an act of defiance against the programming that says you're small, broken, or powerless. Every inhale is a return to your own rhythm, not the system's. It's a quiet rebellion, but a potent one. Because when millions begin to breathe differently, they start to think differently. And when thoughts shift, worlds change. The beauty of breath is that it's always available. You don't need to escape to a monastery or find a mountain cave. You just need to pause and feel it. In the car, at your desk, in the middle of chaos, the revolution happens wherever you decide to remember, one breath at a time. You shift from reaction to presence, from noise to knowing, from fear to frequency. This is your invitation to make your breath sacred again. Not just when meditating, but in life, in conversation, in movement, in stillness. Because when you do, you become more than just a participant in this revolution. You become a transmitter of it, a living reminder that power doesn't come from the outside. It rises from within, carried on the wings of breath. There's a power within you that has never left, only been forgotten. It rides on every breath, waiting for your return, not through force, not through struggle, but through remembrance. When you breathe with presence, you don't just fill your lungs, you realign with source. You break the invisible spell cast by stress, fear, and cultural programming. You shift from automation to creation. You don't need to fight for freedom. You just need to exhale the lie. and inhale the truth. You were never meant to live in panic. You were designed to breathe like the universe itself, slow, rhythmic, expansive, alive. So take one deep, conscious breath now. Feel it. That is your power. If this activated something inside you, a knowing, a resonance, then like this video and subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel. Together, we are remembering the ancient ways. Together, we breathe as creators once again.